Hello and welcome to this new video. In this video, we are going to be talking about a very common topic for language learners, and is the topic of shadowing. But how to shadow properly? Well, in this video, I'm gonna guide you through the steps that I personally followed when I was practicing my English and how shadowing really helped with my pronunciation. So normally people just pick a video and they start repeating the sounds without following steps, without an intention, without thinking about the level, which are very important aspects to take into consideration. So in this video, we are going to be shadowing, or you are going to be shadowing using B2 level vocabulary. That is important. So you should be like an upper intermediate English learner to understand the sentences that we are going to shadow on this video. If you have a B1 level, A2 level, A1 level, probably you are not going to understand everything. You will have to make an extra effort finding the meaning for words, and your practice for shadowing is going to be longer, and you may get confused, disappointed, and eventually think that shadowing doesn't work. But when you shadow at the appropriate level, you find the benefits of it and you continue practicing. So, what is the first step for shadowing? The first step is that precisely. Pick a video that is appropriate for your level. Not any random movie, not any random video, not anyone that you think it will be good. Personally, I used to shadow my trainer, or I used to shadow my favorite actress, which was Sandra Bullock. I liked the way that she speak. So in that case, I always shadowed her on her movies when I had the appropriate level to shadow and understand movies. So remember, always pick videos that you understand at least an 80%. That will tell you that is an appropriate level. Then listen first. Listen first. So when you play the video, you are not going to start repeating right away. No, you're not going to start imitating right away. No, what you have to do is to listen first. You're going to listen 2 or 3 sentences at a time, not a complete paragraph. When you listen those 2 or 3 sentences, you pause the video. And if you need to, you can repeat, you can listen again the same 2 or 3 sentences. If in those sentences there are words that you don't understand by the context, then take note of those words, write it on your notebook, or if you have like a vocabulary journal, and then find the meaning of those words so you completely understand what is that the sentence says. Once you do that, you have your 2 or 3 sentences, you understand completely that those sentences, the context, then it's time to start shadowing. And you're going to shadow at the same time of the speaker. So it's not repeat after the speaker. No, it's that once you listen the first time is precisely for that. So you get familiarized with the words. So the second time, what you're doing is that you are speaking, imitating at the same time of the speaker. Record parts of your session, listen and compare. This step is very important because what we don't track, what we don't measure, we don't know if we are improving. So there's no way to know if this practice is being effective or not. So in this case, you record parts of your session, not the whole 15 minutes or 20 minutes that you practice, but at least one or two sentences. And you have to compare. You have to compare your recording with the original speaker. If you sound similar to the original speaker, if you're happy, great. You did a good job. Excellent. Now you are going to keep those recordings because after a month, you are going to compare your recording of your first session with the recordings of your last sessions. Always compare to your own recordings. Okay, that is the way that you measure if you are progressing. And limit your session to 15 minutes. So some people believe that they need to shadow 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. That's too long and honestly very tiring. So no, 15 minutes of intentional, focused shadowing practice will help you. At least 3 to 5 times a week, it will be of great help. So now that you know the steps, now that you're clear on that, we're gonna start shadowing vocabulary. And in this case, we're gonna shadow vocabulary that we used in job interview. Remember, the first time you are gonna just listen to the sentences, and after you listen, you are going to find the words that you don't understand. Then, if when you're ready, you understand the context of that sentence, then you shadow me, okay? And record your own voice. So let's go with the first sentence. Listen first. I'm currently an account executive at KMPG, where I handle our top performing client. This is a time that if you need to find the meaning of a word, you pause the video, find the meaning of your words, write it down, and continue. If you feel ready, you can start shadowing now. I'm currently an account executive at KMPG, where I handle our top performing client. Let's go with the second. Before that, I worked at an agency where I was on 3 different major national healthcare brands. Before that, I worked at an agency where I was on 3 different major national healthcare brands. Again, this is a time for pausing the video if you need to find any words. And whenever you're ready, you can shadow. Let's shadow now. Before that, I worked at an agency where I was on 3 different major national healthcare brands. Let's go with the third sentence here. While I really enjoyed the work that I did, I'd love the chance to dig in much deeper with one specific company, which is why I'm so excited about this opportunity with Smithsonian Center. Again, this is a time to pause, find any words that you don't understand, write the meaning, try to understand the words from the context, and whenever you are ready, you can shadow. So now let's go ahead and shadow. While I really enjoyed the work that I did, I'd love the chance to dig in much deeper with one specific company, which is why I'm so excited about this opportunity with Smithsonian Center. Let's go with the next one. When I graduated, I found a job in sales for a consumer healthcare products company where I drew on my teaching experience and learned even more about tailoring your message and explaining complex health concepts to people without a science background. As you can see, this paragraph, this one is longer. Here we have two complex sentences. Again, if you need to find the meaning of a word, this is the time to go to the pause the video, go to the online dictionary, find the meaning of the words that you don't understand. So, whenever you understand at least 80% of the context, what they're talking about here, then you can start shadowing. And let's shadow now. When I graduated, I found a job in sales for a consumer healthcare products company where I drew on my teaching experience and learned even more about tailoring your message and explaining complex health concepts to people without a science background. Now let's go with this last paragraph here. My trainees, on average, had more deals closed in their first quarter than any of the other trainers' cohorts. So this last paragraph is a very small, this is just one sentence. And again, if there's any word that is new to you, go ahead and find the meanings in the dictionaries. And now, whenever you feel ready, you have listened enough, you feel prepared for shadowing, let's shadow this last sentence. My trainees, on average, had more deals closed in their first quarter than any of the other trainers' cohorts. And if you finished your practice, that's it. You just did it. That is for our practice for today. I hope that you find this practice useful and you start practicing shadow in the right way. As I always tell you, remember to follow me on this YouTube channel where I post at least once a week a video to help you shadow or to help you with vocabulary in English. Enjoy it and see you next time. Bye bye.